Commemoration, the Battle of iSandlwana, the iconic event in the AmaZulu calendar, is expected to be held today in Nquthu in northern KwaZulu-Natal. The member has, through his lawyers, approached the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. He is arguing that King MisuZulu is not supposed to address any royal events since there is a dispute. Let's bring in Bongani Gema covering the story for us. Bongani, let's pick up where we left off in our last crossing with regards to who will be present today from the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
Well, thank you, Blaine. As I was saying before we were interrupted, Blaine, we were of the belief that the Premier of the province, Usihle Zikalala, will be part of today's commemoration, but we have come to find out that no, in fact, he's not going to be part of today's commemoration. Well, my colleague Nquthu also told me that in previous years you will see the sitting king of the AmaZulu, in this case King Nquthu KaZwelithini, addressing the gathering here, maybe accompanied by the Prime Minister of the AmaZulu, Prince Mangosuthu. So we are expecting that Prince Mangosuthu might be part of today's gathering. As you know, that the King MisuZulu, King-elect MisuZulu, is also expected to be part of the gathering. In fact, he was expected to address the gathering, but as you know, that the royal family household, some members of the royal family household have gone to the Pietermaritzburg High Court to bring an urgent application to interdict him from addressing this gathering. So we are awaiting that decision on that. So far, we haven't seen them arriving. We have seen some blue lights arriving yet. We don't know who was inside those vehicles. We'll go inside and find out for our viewers. In previous years, you will see the reenactment of the historic battle that was fought here, which was one of the battles that were fought, many battles that were fought over land dispossession. So we are expecting to see the same taking place here today, Blaine.
Any reason, Bongani, that has been furnished as to why, if that is the case, the Premier won't be attending this?
Blaine, I guess, Blaine, there's been some questions that have risen over why would the provincial government be part of an event where MisuZulu, because they will be seen as endorsing him as the king, whereas there's still a battle, as we know, that is going on. You'll know the many court applications that's been processed. I remember last year we were covering when the Premier was delivering the vehicles to the wives of the former King Nquthu, the queens of King Nquthu KaZwelithini. We did bring the question, why is he still giving cars to the royal family after he had said that they are stopping all funding to the royal family, and rather until maybe the disputes has been resolved. As you know, that the provincial government had set up a team to try and intervene and bring these disputes to an end. So I guess, Blaine, maybe because we don't know for certain why, but it's because maybe these questions will rise as to why is he part of an event that will make him seem like endorsing King MisuZulu, whereas there's still this disputes raging.
It's interesting to note that while we're commemorating an epic battle, another battle legally is taking place on the sidelines. I want to get a sense, though, of this commemoration. Normally a colorful annual reenactment, which normally attracts large crowds, international as well as locals. Are we likely to see the same this time round?
Blaine, we're hoping to pan and show you the people who are going to be part of that reenactment, but cars have sort of blocked our view. But I can tell you now, we did see them getting into their regalia that they normally wear when they are going to be doing this reenactment. We've seen some of the parts of the men who are in Zulu regalia also. So I guess, Blaine, that reenactment we will see, but there are not as many. As I can tell you, Blaine, right now, it's not as many people that have arrived here. I guess maybe it's still early times, but it's going to happen, but I guess it's not going to be the normal spectacle that people are used to.
You know, I mentioned this is a significant epic battle that took place in the 18th century. But Bongani, does it still resonate with the current generation, your generation, for instance?
Well, Blaine, I think that will be an individual person's perspective. But I guess, Blaine, these sorts of things depend on how maybe people are taught, or rather told, of these stories, Blaine. If, as I can tell you now, as today it's supposed to be the commemoration part, we have this battle on the side that is taking place. So it takes away from the normal, Blaine, the origin of the event, and takes the focus to something else. So I guess, Blaine, the message gets lost in these battles that tend to be part of these commemorations, Blaine. So I guess the fact that we are still seeing them happening annually, they are not dying down, although the people who are part of it sort of get less and less, Blaine. So I think that's where the message gets lost.
Yeah, I meant 1800s instead of 18th century. Normally this commemoration is also used as a platform for reconciliation as well. Is that likely to be one of the strong themes today?
Blaine, as I told you, Blaine, we are seeing the different people who represent as you know, that the battle was one of the Anglo-Zulu wars. So we have seen the two people who are going to be representing these two sides, Blaine. So that must come out in the messages that we'll hear. That will depend, whether the reconciliation, as you mentioned, that is represented here, will depend on the messages that are going to be shared here today.
Bongani Gema, live for us there in KwaZulu-Natal. Thank you very much indeed for your reporting. We'll check back with you a little later on.